Good morning. My name is Yashwant MK, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. Today, I am going to teach you a subject or a course, Rehabilitation and Retrofitting of Structure, with a course code 17CV753. It is an elective course. So, before getting into the subject, the prerequisite for this subject or course is the prerequisites for this subject is number 1, building materials and construction. The second prerequisite for this course is concrete technology. So these are the two subjects or a course that is a prerequisite for this course. So in the building materials and construction technology, you people have studied about various components of construction like foundation, a construction of masonry, a lintel, chejja, a fixation of door, windows, etc. So those are the prerequisites required here also. And the second prerequisite is concrete technology. In the concrete technology, you people have read about in the lower semester the production of concrete or manufacture of concrete. Next, durability part, strength, shrinkage, creep. All those basic terminologies or basic concepts will be prerequisite for this rehabilitation and retrofitting structures course. So with this prerequisite, let us get into the course overview. So, as the time elapses, we know the health of a human being, or its capacity of a human being will be decreased. Or else I can say, as the age increases of a human being, the capacity, the performance of a human being will be decreased due to various reasons, or I can say the various diseases. It may be related to heart, it may be related to kidney or some other parts. So because of this, you require a health monitoring. So health monitoring of human being is required to enhance the lifespan of a human being. Likewise, in the structures also, so human beings, and then next, in structures also, the monitoring is required. Here also, as the time elapses, the health of a structure or the capacity of a structure will be decreased considerably. That means I meant to say that the service life of a structure will be reduced. The service life of a structure will be reduced due to various reasons. In human beings, as I stated, the service life will be decreased due to various diseases. Likewise, in structure also, the capacity or the performance of a structure will be decreased due to various reasons such as environmental demands, or I can say weathering conditions. Next, increased load demands, Next, construction errors, design errors. So, because of these man-made defects or man-made, what I can say, wrong things during the construction practice, it may be in the terms of quality, maybe in the terms of material quality, maybe in the terms of construction quality, maybe in terms of design. Okay, and environmental demands means maybe the variation in the temperature. For example, the structure will be subjected to the what I can say, the sun condition, the structure will be subjected to the wind, enormous wind, the structure will be subjected to the enormous rain. So the temperature variations also will make the structures to get deteriorate. The structures to get deteriorate. So because of these reasons, the structures will tend to get deteriorate. So deteriorate means it is the damage occurred in structure, or I can say the change of original state. The change of original state or damage occur in structure will be called as deterioration or deteriorate, or I can say distress. Okay. So next point is increased load demand. So load demand means, for example, people have been designed a building to carry certain amount of load. Next, in future, if you want to increase the floor of a building, if you want to go for one more floor, already existing is ground floor, if you want to go for two more floors, then automatically the load parameter will be changed. The load carrying capacity of a structure will change. So during that consideration also, okay, the service life will be decreased. So for all these reasons, the structure will tend to reduce its service life, finally leading to the deterioration. Hence, how exactly the doctor monitors the human being, the health monitoring of structure is also required. That is what this course states. The health monitoring of structure is also required. Next, we came to know what is the diseases caused in the structure. So these are all the diseases caused in the structure. Okay. Next, so once the structure has been with diseases, the next thing is diagnosing. The next point is diagnosing. So next part is diagnose the damage in structure. Diagnose the damage in structure. So now we came to know these are all the diseases which is making a service life reduction. Next, I need to diagnose. See, in the human beings, for example, we human being will be suffering from cold, cough, fever or some other diseases. We will go to the doctor. What the doctor does? The doctor will use to diagnose. He will identify. Okay, he will identify what exactly the disease is caused. What exactly the disease is caused. That means he will use the various techniques. He will use the various devices. He will use the various tools. He will use the various equipments. Okay, using those assessment techniques, I am going to diagnose the damage occurred in the structure, or a distress occurred in the structure, or the deterioration of a structure. Is it clear? Likewise, here also, in order to see, these are all the diseases I have been told. So now we need to identify whether this service life reduction in the structure or deterioration of structure is led to this particular problem itself, whether it may be construction or whether it may be design error, whether it may be environmental demand or increased load demand. Okay, so for all these things we need to diagnose it. So that is what the next step I am going to do in this course. So using a various assessment techniques, I am going to diagnose or detect the problem occurred in a structure. Is it clear? Next, after diagnosing, next, suggest a techniques to enhance the lifespan of the structure. To enhance the lifespan of a structure. So now, coming to the same thing, the human being, okay, now the doctor will diagnose, he will identify what is the disease that you will come across in the particular person. Next thing, what he is going to do? He is going to give some medicines or treatments depending upon the disease. So depending upon the disease, the doctor will give the medicines. Likewise, here also, depending upon the damage or extent of damage or what is the type of deterioration, I need to suggest a suitable techniques. Those techniques are rehabilitation technique, retrofitting technique. Why it is required? It is required to enhance the lifespan of the structure. So that is what the course overview. So what exactly in this particular course you are going to do is this. So I will repeat. So first you need to know the health monitoring. That means you need to know what is the cause for the reduction of a service life. What is the cause for the reduction of a service life? Next, diagnosing the damage or the distress or the deterioration occurred in the structure. After diagnosing, next is suggest the suitable techniques to enhance the lifespan of a structure. So it is a cycle. Is it clear? So this is what the course overview. So now get into the course. So now here I have stated a techniques. And I am keep on repeating structures. Okay. So first let me go ahead with rehabilitation. So rehabilitation, let me define. So rehabilitation means it is defined as a technique used to restore the structure to a service level once it had and lost. In a very simple manner, if I want to define, any structure which was not functioning or which has got a damages or deterioration, so that particular structure I am going to restore the structure same as it is by means of certain equipments or a material. Okay, that is called rehabilitation. A very beautiful example I can say, you usually in practice. Okay, in Karnataka, Mysore district will be having a huge historical, it is very famous for historical places. Mysore will be having a palaces. Okay, a kingdom of palaces. Okay, in these palaces, if you want to go for something like a technique, okay, because the palaces, you know that buildings or historical buildings or monuments will be of so many years. Okay, a lifespan. Usually we are going to design a structure for a lifespan of 100 years. Okay, so any structure, okay, whose reduction in the lifespan, okay, that if I want to rehabilitate the historical monuments, then I need to maintain the same okay, the components as it is without any modification. Please note this point, without any modification. Okay, so that is called rehabilitation. So whatever the structure that was existing, okay, without any modification, by means of certain techniques or equipments, I am going to restore the structure as it is before it was, is called as rehabilitation. Next, retrofitting. Retrofitting. Retrofitting means it is defined as modification. See, you have not mentioned modification, but you have mentioned modification. Modification of a structure, modification of a structure, modification of a structure by strengthening the existing structure. By strengthening the existing structure. So what I am trying to say here is, here the structure capacity will be decreased, the structure capacity or the performance will be decreased, okay, due to these phenomena. So now if I want to strengthen that building, then I am going to use a component, here I have not mentioned any component, extra material, extra, or I can say addition of material or components. So by the addition of components, why I need to add the component to the structure? I am going to add a component or a material to the structure or existing structure to strengthen this existing structure. But in the rehabilitation case, I have not used any extra material or additional components. I have been trying to retain the or restore the structure as it is without any extra component or addition. A minute repair may be possible, but I am not going to add any components here. But in this retrofitting case, I am going to add an additional component if it necessary to overcome the damage or the deterioration of concrete structure. So that is what the strengthening techniques. So that means here I have suggested the techniques to enhance the lifespan. That means rehabilitation and retrofitting techniques are the ideal techniques required to enhance the lifespan. In these various techniques are there. We are going to discuss in the further classes. Okay, so this is a generalized thing. The retrofitting and rehabilitation are the techniques used to enhance the lifespan of a structure which was deteriorated or damaged. It is like a medicine. How the human beings are suffer from so many diseases, a doctor will suggest so many techniques to overcome the diseases. Here also, these are all the medicines. The medicines, okay, that will be used to overcome the distress, damage or deterioration occurred in structure. Now, if I want to explain this phenomenon in pictorial way, like this, see, if I want to draw a graph of performance versus time, a performance in the y-axis or time in the x-axis. Now, it's a very interesting part. See, if a quality of a construction is very good, if it is a good quality construction, automatically it will start deteriorating. It will start deteriorating slowly and come to the minimum acceptable limit. minimum acceptable limit. That means I can say something like permissible limit. Permissible limit. This is what? Minimum permissible limit. Permissible limit. Okay. And so it will take a certain time to get deteriorate. Okay. Next, after reaching the permissible limit, the structure will tend to reach the end of the service life. After reaching to the minimum acceptable limit, then it will finally reach to the end of a service life. So this is what? Service life ends. So now, if I take a quality of a medium quality construction, if I take a medium quality construction, so now it will start deteriorating very fast, okay, then it will reach the acceptable limit very soon, then automatically it will tend to lose its service life. Okay, automatically it went to lose its service life. So what I meant to do here is, I am going to use certain techniques to enhance to its original condition or to increase the lifespan so that automatically its lifespan will be increased and it will reach like this. Okay, so that means whatever the techniques I have used here is, that is rehabilitation or retrofitting techniques. Okay, so the qualities of medium, okay, it will start deteriorating, reaching the minimum permissible acceptable limit. Okay, once it reaches the minimum permissible acceptable limit, okay, immediately will end its service life. So in order to overcome this, I have used certain techniques to enhance the lifespan. Okay, that means I am making a structure to come to its original condition, by using a certain techniques called rehabilitation and retrofitting techniques, so that service life will be increased and it will reach a service life, okay, at later ages, Okay, so your entire course lies in this part. See, you will start from here, okay, you will see why it is decreasing, why the graph is tend to decrease. That means why the structure is tend to get deteriorate. So your subject, your course like this, why it is tend to deteriorate. Next, after coming to know about deterioration and the reason, what is the suggestible techniques you are going to use to overcome this decline graph line. Okay, so you're going to increase this particular path, okay, and then you're going to reach to the end of a service life. So the entire subject lies like this. So this is regarding your course overview of your subjects. Okay. Next, coming to the course outcomes. Okay, so before I'm going to the course outcome, so here I was keep on mentioning structure. Here the structure we are going to deal with are two things. One is a concrete structures and also masonry structure. So both the materials we are going to deal with, both concrete structure and also the masonry structure. Majorly we are dealing with concrete structure. Okay, and also we are going to teach, or we can know, the masonry structures. Okay, in this concrete structure or masonry structure, we are going to deal with buildings, bridges, flyovers, all the components. All the components. That is what exactly the meaning of structures. We are going to deal with concrete structure, masonry structure. In that, in specific, okay, we are going to deal with bridges, buildings, dams, flyovers, everything. We are going to do all concrete structures, all masonry structures. Any structure which is built up of a concrete or a masonry, all those structure we are going to deal in this particular course. So coming to the next part, the first part, that is course outcomes. Course outcomes. What is the outcome of this course? So now we came to know the overview of the course. Now what are you going to take from this course? What are you going to take from this course? Okay, the first course outcome, that is course outcome number 1, is apply the engineering fundamentals. Apply the engineering fundamentals to know the causes of deterioration of concrete structure. So that is what the first CO, or course outcome number 1. Apply the engineering, knowledge of engineering fundamentals to know the causes of deterioration of concrete structure. Here, application of engineering fundamentals. Engineering fundamental means, in the basic concrete technology, your people have read what is, how to produce concrete, what is honeycombing, okay, what is the reason for honeycombing, what is shrinkage, what is creep. Okay, so all those parameters are a prerequisites. Okay, that component or fundamentals you are going to apply. You are going to apply so that you can know what is the reason for the causes for the deterioration of a concrete structure. That is what the CO number 1. Next, course outcome number 2. Okay, the course outcome number 2 is choose a various assessment techniques. Choose a various assessment techniques to diagnose. Choose a various assessment techniques to diagnose the damage occurred in structures. First CO, you came to know about the causes. In the course outcome number 2, you are going to choose the assessment technique. Here very important thing is, as I stated, depending upon the disease, the doctor will suggest a medicine. Here also, or diagnose the disease. Here also, depending upon the problem or a distress, you need to use a proper assessment techniques to diagnose the damage. That is what choosing a right assessment technique to diagnose the damage or a distress occurred in the concrete structure. Okay. Next, CO number 3, that is course outcome number 3. Course outcome number 3. Okay. In the course outcome number 3 is illustrate the principles of rehabilitation and retrofitting techniques. Illustrate the principle of rehabilitation and retrofitting techniques of concrete structure. So now, before applying these techniques, before applying these medicines to the concrete structure, we need to know the principles, we need to know the concepts of rehabilitation, retrofitting, it may be repair, all these things. Okay, so you know the principles of those things. By knowing the pin-to-pin details of those techniques, now we can decide which technique to apply. That's why we need to, in the course outcome number 3, you are going to illustrate or know the concepts of the repair, rehabilitation, retrofitting techniques to apply for the concrete structure. Next, course outcome number 4. Course outcome number 4 is analyze the ideal material or suggest the ideal material for repair, rehabilitation and retrofitting of concrete structure or masonry structure to enhance the lifespan. That is what course outcome number 4. I will repeat. The course outcome number 4 is analyze or idealize or suggest the ideal repair material, ideal retrofitting material, ideal rehabilitation material to enhance the lifespan. That's what I stated. Okay, after diagnosing, okay, we need to know the proper damage properly. Based upon the damage, you need to choose the ideal material. This I am going to teach you, because you will be come across various damages, because the damage will be unique. Okay, I cannot say that the structure will possess only one type of damages or one type of distress. It will be n number of distresses, n type of deterioration. As I stated, it may be construction, design, environmental damages. Okay, it may be due to the load variations. Lot of things will come. So depending upon the extent of damage, depending upon the causes of deterioration, we need to idealize the repair material or retrofitting material to enhance the lifespan of a structure. So this is what the course outcome of this course. Okay, likewise, the entire scenario which in this particular class we people have discussed is, I will repeat. Okay, I have discussed, okay, what is the reason for deterioration, how to diagnose we need to diagnose the damage occurred in structure. Next is suggesting the techniques. Based upon this course overview, I have written the course outcomes and I have been explained pictorially too. Okay, so I can modify the course like this. This is something like rehabilitation retrofitting structures, or I can say structural health monitoring. Structural health monitoring. Is it clear? So with this introductory class to this particular course, I will end the class today. We will get into the content of a course from the next class. Thank you very much.